When and why should you register to be self-employed in the UK? So I'm going to quickly cover this as a point of view to help you if you're in this struggle. It's something that can happen naturally. So you're probably doing something at the moment, you're selling online. It might be eBay selling, it might be Etsy selling, you might be doing a bit of cake baking and selling, and you're selling and you're getting money, you're getting income. So what I'm going to do today is give you an idea of this, because I'm in the journey myself. So it's been a year now. It's the 1st of September today I'm recording this. It's been a year that I've been a limited company. So I'm going to explain why I went from being self-employed to setting up a limited company and how that helped me. So it's going to be a journey, but the main goal right now you're going to be in is you're making a bit of money, you're not sure if you need to pay tax and how you should basically work things out. There's a couple of rules and regulations. I'm giving this more of a point of view from myself, so I'm not a financial accountant or anything, so make sure you do your own research, but I'll help you explain how I started and what I did. So if you're looking to set up a self-employment, how does that work? It's quite straightforward. It's basically yourself being registered with the Inland Revenue if you're in the UK and paying tax. You pay tax on any income that you're making, so income as in you're selling something, you're making profit on it. This is like the black and white guidelines that I'm going to cover. There may be other circumstances along the way that you've changed something, so that might be different. So if you're selling and you're making money, if you make £1,000 in a year income, that's not, you can't deduct expenses from that or things like that to make it lower. If you've got an income of £1,000, then you need to technically go online onto the website directgov.uk, and there's steps there for you to register as being self-employed. Why do you need to do that? Well, how this works is if you're getting money paid to you into your account, for example, you're using eBay, you're using Etsy, you're getting any type of income coming in, you need to declare that you've got money coming in, because technically tax needs to be paid on that money. You're in the UK, so we're a tax nation basically. You need to pay money. It depends how much you pay, and also it doesn't necessarily always mean you have to pay tax. Registering to pay tax means if you get over £1,000, you can put that into your accounts, and it actually makes sense and makes it a bit more easier for you. For example, say I was buying this pen and I bought, I don't know, 1,000 of these pens, and those cost me £1,000. That's expenses. So technically I've spent 1,000, I've got 1,000 here. If I sell these pens for £2 each, and I make £1,000 profit, technically that will count as £2,000 because that's the sale value. But if you're self-employed, you can actually claim expenses, which means, wait a minute, I bought these pens for £1,000, so from that £2,000 income, let's deduct that £1,000. I actually only made £1,000 profit, and then from that £1,000 is what you would be tax liable for if you get over the threshold. So in the UK, everybody's allowed to earn a certain amount of money before they pay tax. It's about roughly £12,500. Check online, because that changes and there's different figures online that you can see that. I might put a link below to the DirectGov website where you can check that. But if you use that rule as a guideline, you can earn up to £12,500 and not pay tax, because that's your personal allowance. If you earn over that amount, then you start paying tax, and there's different varying amounts of tax you pay. For example, it could be like 22%, it could be 27%, depending on how much you're earning. And if you earn a lot of money, it can be up to 40%. So that's where looking at becoming a limited company could help you, because if you're making a lot of money and you're self-employed, you can actually become a limited company, which then makes you a bit more sensible of how you pay tax, and you can do different things. That's a bit more of a complex topic, but I'm giving you ideas of that because that's the route I took. Being self-employed, do you need to get an accountant? That's like an important question. Let's have a look at that next. Okay, so what I've done here now is brought up a quick website, moneyhelper.org, just to run through some of the information that will be helpful for you to hear. So tax and national insurance when you're self-employed. When you're self-employed, you're responsible for paying tax and national insurance on your income. It's important to stay on top of your records to work out how much you need to pay. So the question, do you need an accountant? That's your personal preference. If you're quite, good with your money and you're frugal and you've got spreadsheets and you're kind of logging, oh, I'm spending this much, I've got this much bill. It doesn't need to be a fancy spreadsheet. Let me know in the comments if you want me to help you with that. I can set up a template on Google Sheets or something. That might be helpful for you actually, because that's what I used when I was setting up. So I spent X amount of money. I've been getting an income predicted of this amount of money. I'm using fuel to go to and from places to buy things. That all can be expenses. So that basically means the more money you're spending, at the end of the day, the money you make, you can deduct that from that, and the remainder is what you pay tax on. And the lower that figure, the lower the tax you're going to pay. So that's like the layman's explanation. So you don't really need an accountant, especially if you do a self-employed section, because what you can do is log everything yourself. The self-employed is online on a website, and you can then just fill out the figures. It's as easy as what was your total money you spent on things you bought, and then what is your total income on what you had, and then tax wise how much is taxable. That's like an overview of it. There are a lot of websites, or even on YouTube you'll find loads of people helping you go through that stage. It's once a year that you fill out that tax return online, and you don't have to have an accountant, but if you feel more comfortable with one, you can get one. There's different types of accountants you can get, some that you pay every month, or you can pay an accountant once just to check it over. We'll do another episode about that and speak about that in detail. Another website to look at is the DirectGov website, working for yourself. So you need to report a business. It can be your own name. It doesn't have to be a business name. Let's talk a bit more about that. So to elaborate on that a little bit more, do you need to have a business name? So for example, you currently have an Etsy shop, you're selling pens and stuff, and your shop's called Pens and Stuff. You can register your company name as your own name, or you could put your name and then also what is known as. So you could say my name is Zulf, and that's like the main name, and then the shop is also known as Pens and Stuff. So then that way you've got two things linked together. Not really linked, but you're also known as that's your shop name, and if that's your only shop that you sell on, because later on if you decide to go down the route of setting up a company, that's where names of companies will be an important thing. So definitely make sure that you've got domain names and things that if you're thinking of having a name, you've already got that in the bag, even for self-employment. So you can register that on the DirectGov website to say that's your name. You've got accounts that you fill out. It would be preferable, I would say personally, having gone through the journey, I think it is a good idea to be self-employed as soon as you're making money. If you're making over £1,000 in a year, definitely would be an option. Well, you have to register for £1,000 because that is all you can have as an income a year. Once you register, any money above that, you go through an application form. But as soon as you do, you're not going to have to pay tax. So don't worry. Don't think now that you're registering as being self-employed, you have to automatically pay tax. It depends how much you actually earn before you start paying tax. So technically, in my example, I was able to earn up to £12,500. And then anything above that is what I paid tax on. So in the first year of being self-employed, I didn't pay any tax. Because back then, that's like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I didn't make enough money. It's only now that I'm making more money where I've become a limited company, and I'll explain why. I'll probably do another episode, but in summary, you get, if you're up to £1,000, you don't have to register really as a business in a year. If you're earning over £1,000, you have to register as self-employed. If you earn up to £35,000, 25, 35, 30 is a bit hazy, but if you earn over £35,000 and you're self-employed, it might make sense for you to look at being a limited company. So that's what we'll talk about a bit more, and those are 3 reasons to look at being self-employed and the different levels of that. I've kind of covered it overarching there, not much detail, but definitely check out those 2 websites in the description, and also look at this playlist here. I've set it up for you. If you're a business and you're kind of making more money and you're thinking about what to do, you'll see here how I progressed in my journey, and that will help you with your journey. See you on that video.